You've always been into hospitality. I guess
I
that's
love
why,
it.
from catering to a wellness
Yes.
spa. But for somebody who wants to start perhaps a catering company, what would you say didn't really work, and maybe that's what they need to look out for when they do it? Because I think with you, where you ended up, you happy. I think you belong there. But for somebody who actually wants to explore that, what would you say were the things you wish you knew just about catering? One or two things maybe that they need to look out
Okay,
for.
first of all, if you've got a 9 to 5, right?
Yeah.
I would advise you, if you want to go the business route, don't leave before you've got a plan.
Okay.
So you can still work, like, let's say 6 months, whilst you get someone that you trust, right?
Okay.
To run that,
To
someone
look
that
after
is
your
familiar.
business. Okay.
Yes, someone that is familiar with that business space, and obviously someone that is trustworthy.
Okay.
You don't want someone that will chow your money
Yeah.
whilst you still working.
Yeah.
So do your research first.
Yeah,
Find
yeah.
out, go to the market where they sell. If you're doing a quota business, for an example,
Yeah.
potatoes, the prices, sometimes they're very high, sometimes they're low. So do your research. Go to people that have done it before.
Okay.
And find out from them, what are the challenges?
Yeah.
How does this work? Do
Yeah.
your research. I
Yeah.
went in with zero
You
research.
just jumped in.
I just jumped in, bruh.
Yeah,
I just jumped
yeah.
in. I jumped in
Yeah,
by faith,
yeah,
basically,
yeah.
and I didn't do my research.
Yeah.
So do your research. If you want to do catering, any kind of business, it doesn't even have to be that only.
Yeah.
Do your research.
Okay. We're glad that you jumped in, because at least you got some lessons for some of us and somebody out there who would want to do the same. But also, I think the jumping in, because, at times we regret not doing it more than doing it. So I'm happy that you still followed your heart and applied faith and just did it anyway.
Yes.
And perhaps the redirection, I still believe it was quite a divine one.
I agree with
and
you.
because that also gave you the experience now to jump into the massage space.
agree with you.
Because even that, you were essentially jumping into it because you're not really
Yes.
coming from businesses or parents that used to own a similar business and so forth. So there's no mistake, I guess, in the kingdom of God, especially. Well,
Definitely.
that's what we believe. There's no mistake.
Yes.
All things always work together, But so let's talk about Black excellence for a bit. Massage. V, I believe that massages are important. I think you've just explained how you felt after you've had a massage. However, some of our people, especially, and I would say our people, we still consider going for a massage as a treat, There's nothing wrong with a treat, but more of a luxury than a necessity or a need. And I know that your spa offers such reasonable prices. Tell us why it's important to go for treatments such as massages and whatever treatments that you offer at your spa. Yeah.
Okay. So before we get there, I just want to take you a little bit as
Yeah.
to how the spa
Started.
I think it's
Absolutely.
important.
Absolutely.
Yes. So remember now, when did COVID start? 2020.
2020,
right?
yeah.
So prior to 2020, I had a spa in Selby. And when COVID hit, because I think everyone went on panic mode.
Yeah.
So I had to close down my premises. We had to literally shut down everything.
Yeah.
I had to stick to house calls because
Yeah.
we just all didn't know
Yeah.
what's happening.
Yeah.
You get what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
So we were just doing house calls, and when the country started to open up a little bit. Remember, there was levels and whatnot.
Yes.
So when they opened for the beauty industry, I was still doing house calls, and
Yeah.
I had no premises, no anything.
Yeah.
Literally, I
Yeah.
only had a mobile bed,
Yeah.
which I was using.
Yeah.
And one of my clients said to me, does this thing make money?
Yeah.
And I said to him, if you are in the right environment, the
Yeah.
right space, and you charge right, and you do the right, you provide the right service, it does. You can make a decent living out of it.
Yeah.
And he said, look, I've got a space that I would like for you to see. See if you like it, since as well businesses are starting to operate again.
Yeah.
You can come and view it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now this is a girl from Soweto.
Yeah.
Right.
Who doesn't even have a car at the time?
Dude, because I've just sold my car,
Yep.
right? And we're driving with this guy is actually a friend of mine.
Yeah.
You know, we're driving with this guy going to Winchester Hills.
Mm.
Before COVID, or before this friend of mine and I had this conversation, I didn't know Winchester Hills even existed, bruh. And as we are coming, I'm thinking to myself, Lord, how am I even going to get here? There are no taxis coming here, you know, and I don't even have money.
Yeah.
Like, there's no money. I don't have savings. I don't have anything.
Yeah.
We get there, and when we get there, you know, when something has been approved by God, you will
Yeah.
know when you set your foot there.
Yeah.
So I get this gut feeling that this is it.
Yeah.
Because after that, I didn't know after COVID what was going to happen to my business, where to go.
Yeah.
And I get there, it's just a hall. But I was like, you know what? I said to this guy, give me the figures and everything. How much would you charge for us for the space and everything? There's also a residential, like it's a huge house.
Yes.
You know, and this guy is like, this, and this. We discuss all of that. I'm like, okay, let me go speak to my business partner. Mind you, Cleo, at
Who's
that
your
time,
business partner?
I would say God was my business partner, because there's no one who's willing to go into business now. Businesses are collapsing,
Yeah.
you know. And he says to me, okay, you'll get back to me.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, no problem. I get home and I start praying. I said, God, you
Yeah.
would never take me to that place if you didn't have a
Yeah.
plan for me.
Yes.
You need to make this happen for me. That week, I start fasting. I start using practical faith.
Yes.
When I kept on saying to God, you know what? I can see myself already having a lot of clients. So I used that. I started talking, like saying it out,
Yeah.
what I wanted God to do.
Yeah.
And I promise you, a week from then, this guy calls me again and he says to me, dude, when are we starting with the branding?
Yeah.
That time I have zero balance in my account. But I'm confident because I'm fasting and I'm praying.
Yeah.
You know, it's so important when we want things from God for
Yeah.
us to talk to God about it
Yes.
and see it. Because if you don't believe it,
Yes.
you might be sitting at home and saying, how am I going to reach this goal, or how will this dream come true?
Yeah.
But unless you say it out with your mouth to God and to the universe,
Yeah.
nothing will move.
Yeah.
I promise you, that week I started getting house calls, a lot of them. People would book, please come this side, this and this.
Yeah.
And money started coming
Yeah.
in, right?
Almost as if God is actually
Yo,
giving
he
you
was.
that confirmation.
He
and
was. He
approval.
was.
Yeah.
And then we started to do the branding.
Yeah.
That week we started moving.
Yeah.
I remember it was somewhere in July. We started moving, getting the beds, getting everything.
Wow.
And in that week, literally almost everything that I was praying for,
Just
it just
wow.
and I remember this guy saying to me, what are you going to do? You don't even know people around here.
Yeah.
How are you going to... Even my brother said that. You know, he said, you don't even know anyone here. How are you going to make your money? How are you sure that this is going to work? I said, as long as God is still God and
Yeah.
he's the same one that I'm praying to, he will sort that out. I'm just getting started. And I'm going with what I believe in. And I remember saying to my brother, God will provide everything that I need.
Yeah.
I won't even have problems of paying people that are working for me. I won't have any operational cost issues. God will sort that out. And I remember when we were launching, it was the first week of September, 2021. if I'm not mistaken. So when I was making the opening speech, because I invited a few people to come, my prayer was, Lord, I'm not launching
Yeah.
this place.
Yeah.
I'm celebrating